Hey guys, I wanted to do a quick little rundown on the run today because obviously we're not in studio. Blake is dealing with our huge archive of video content, and it's not going to be a super quick thing. Just want to get that clear. It's going to take us a little bit of time to get that all together, but we are starting to organize, and our intention is to digitize everything, but it's going to take us some time, okay? So just everybody be patient. We hear you. You guys want access to our classic content. We want to put it up there. We are going to devote some time to this, and so we may do some things like this where we take a little break on the rundowns, because the rundowns, as we package them now, are one of the most production intensive things that we do together, and we love them, but they do take a lot of time, and so we have to kind of juggle all the resources and the timing that we have. And I just saw this little gap, and I said, okay, let us spend some real time, some spring cleaning time on getting stuff fixed up. And I think you guys are going to like what we have got planned. We're putting up shelves and moving tapes all over the place. I posted some stuff to my Instagram. But let's talk a little bit about what's been going on, because this was a powerhouse weekend. Of course, the Avengers did $1.2 billion globally for Avengers Endgame, and that is a super heroic box office for sure. And Disney and Marvel must be celebrating, and everybody involved, which is almost all of Hollywood. And I've just landed here. I don't think I said where I am. I'm in Los Angeles. Just landed in LA, and I'm off to go and check out Borderlands 3. So I'll have some thoughts on that very soon for you guys, as well as some interviews. But yes, the Avengers Endgame. I think a little bit of a shock because it had a 3-hour runtime. So that meant that it had to be in every multiplex and every screen, I would imagine, and they ran those screens around the clock. They ran those screenings around the clock. Now, I saw it at a smallish theater in Vancouver, and it wasn't fully packed, but I saw it on Thursday night. There was no early screening of the movie in the Vancouver market, and I'm sure that happened in some other markets as well. I'm sure because they've probably spent all the money on just making the movie, and they knew they didn't have to market it too much, and they knew it was kind of review proof, so they didn't really and Disney's done this a couple times, but they knew they didn't have to get it into every single market out there, so we couldn't see it any earlier than Thursday evening. So I saw it with my family, as I talked about. An exceptional escape and an exceptional wrap up, and I'm not surprised at all that the fervor is there for it. When I was watching the movie, it really reminded me of watching something like The Empire Strikes Back or something like that. It was really taking me back to the early foundational stuff that got me into covering these different games and movies and TV shows and stuff. And I don't know. I hope it. I saw it with my kid, my daughter, so I hope that some of that rubbed off on her when she was watching Avengers Endgame and sort of getting all of her education on all the Marvel movies, because I've been taking her to MCU school for a little while. She's a graduate of MCU. Anyways, fantastic box office performance. It really makes you wonder what could ever top that. If now clearly the Avatar film, the first Avatar film, is in the MCU sites and Disney and Marvel sites, and I'm sure James Cameron woke up, sort of moved the piles of money away from him in his money bed, and he woke up and went, what? It made that much? But I'm sure his dream now is to make sure the Avatar movies top the Marvel movies. So, and Disney owns all that stuff, by the way. They own it all. So Disney's laughing all the way to the bank. I think the other company that's laughing all the way to the bank is HBO, because Game of Thrones had an incredible episode yesterday. I know that there's a lot of people kind of bummed out by some of the deaths and some of the choices that happened in the Battle of Winterfell, or the Battle for Winterfell. An extraordinarily well choreographed episode with this epic battle. And I'm going to get into a little spoiler stuff here, so if you haven't seen it and you don't want to talk about it at all, or you don't want to hear anything about it, maybe just press pause or whatever. But I'll do this hand gesture when I've gone out of spoiler zone. How does that sound? Is that good? Okay, then you'll know you can pick up again. Anyways, no, I won't do that. The episode was fun and nerve-wracking and gut-wrenching, and honestly, I think it put The Walking Dead to shame. I have never seen that much zombie dread coming, well, apart from playing Days Gone. Days Gone, you actually play a sequence like that when you get into the Horde mode, but watching that unfold in the Battle of Winterfell was just crazy, and I wanted to tweet out last night, but I stopped myself. It's raining dead, hallelujah, and I know it's cheesy, but it was raining dead, and I've never seen that before. You know, when they all climbed up on that thing and they fell off of that thing, it was unbelievable. It was so cool. I did watch it on. I have TELUS as a provider in Vancouver, and they're pretty solid. But the show was really dark. It was shot at night. And I was reading a lot of comments from my Facebook friends and from my Twitter feed. People were really having a tough time watching this, whether they watched it on the app or watched it on their own cable streaming service or whatever. I have TELUS internet and cable coming into my house, and usually it's okay, but the compression of the blacks and everything was just too much for the show. So it was really hard to make out some stuff. It was very murky in some sequences, but God, it really got me, and the ending was incredible. And, you know, but between those two huge properties and also I think the effective launch of Days Gone, I think we had a pretty sensational entertainment weekend. And about Days Gone, I know it has become a controversial topic. A lot of people aren't big fans of it, and a lot of people are big fans of it. A lot of people seem to be agreeing with the Metacritic scores around Days Gone, and I found that to be a little counterproductive. I feel like people should spend the time to check the game out first, play it for a little while before they just look at a percentile and say this isn't for me, because you're really just looking at an aggregate of faceless numbers all compiled together. And I feel like, and obviously I'm not impartial here, but I feel like you as a consumer and as a fan of entertainment should find the voices that you like and follow those for guidance, but and some suggestions. But ultimately, it falls onto you to try stuff out. And I really feel strongly that if you give Days Gone a shot, you're going to be impressed. It's a really, really freaking cool game. And so I got a lot of comments on my review, and thank you to all the new people that are watching the channel and watched that review, and a lot of people agreed with it, and got a lot of people saying, how could you like that? The Metacritic is terrible, and the game is sucky, and it's got a terrible... And I'm wondering, have you played that? Have you played the game, or are you just reading other people's things, and you're just... parroting whatever you've heard? And I don't know. I just don't think that's great. I don't think that's great for entertainment. I don't think it's great for art. I especially don't think it's great for video games. I think video games need all kinds of different ways for people to access that information. And if what they're getting is just controversy and hate, then they're going to pull back away from it. And the end result will be a terrific game like Days Gone getting slighted, unfairly so, because today, the Bend folks killed themselves to make something really cool there. Anyways, that's the end of my rant on the Days Gone video game and the review and all that. It was a kind of a surreal weekend, though, to see a lot of comments on the review and a lot of comments on the interviews that we've done with Sam and lots of tweets. And but also it's been really cool. I've heard from people that work at Bend that appreciated my review, and lots of viewers that absolutely do too. Anyways, that's going to do it for the rundown. I'm arriving at this rundown on the run. And by the way, I hope the audio is coming through. I'm using these AirPods. I got the AirPods version 2, and I've been very happy with them. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a future video. But thanks for watching, you guys. Play forever.